welcome to another episode of Does This Podcast Suck? With us this week, we have a guest speaker, Rolkster.
Hello.
And as always, Kyle.
Why am I second?
Because
I don't agree with this.
You're usually second.
Well,
Get out.
third now.
I usually randomize it.
No. I don't get paid enough for this shit. You gotta be courteous to the guest, man. Come on.
Yeah. Well, Kyle's not a guest. Fuck him. Also, MT is here.
Yep, I am. That is true.
This is a factual
that
statement.
is possible. And true.
So,
So possible it's actually happening.
a lot of Microsoft shit happening this week.
Woo.
Oh, there's so much. And there's some good, there's some bad, there's some head scratchers.
Which is better than just a giant pile of shit like it used to be.
Yeah. I'll give Phil Spencer credit for there's pretty much no person at that company I would ever give the benefit of the doubt, but him, all right, maybe. So, I guess one of the first interesting things that came up this week, there's a lot of stuff about hardware upgrades for the Xbox One. So, the basic idea is they're going to put out more powerful hardware, and instead of just having a new console every generation, they would just keep offering hardware upgrades. They would all run the same software, and this would tie into their Universal Windows platform, the app thing that they're doing. The idea there is you make one of these games and you target this API, and it runs on Xbox and it runs on PC. And conversely, that allows them to potentially offer hardware upgrades on the consoles as well, because no one has to start recoding their games just to run on other hardware. So you could say, and the thing I guess really it's going to come down to is they can do this right, or they can do it wrong and make everyone super fucking mad. Doing it right. What's that?
I was gonna say option 2 sounds like the more logical one that's probably gonna come out of this.
Well, definitely. It is Microsoft. If they don't piss off at least half their fan base, they're not Microsoft.
History dictates that that's how it will go.
There's a reason that they had fucking antitrust lawsuits against them.
Which conveniently have expired.
Which we'll get to in a minute, because that relates more to another thing. But yeah, fuck them. So doing it right obviously would look like, okay, in my mind, if you're doing this correctly, you've got your universal app platform, blah, 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 whatever. You offer upgrades every maybe year or two, and developers can basically just throw out new settings. If you have better hardware, you can run, in 1080 now, or, something. Because what they probably don't want to get into is the giant clusterfuck of settings that most PC games have, because console gamers are not going to want to deal with that. Like, they don't want to go in and have to know what anti-aliasing is, or what fucking there's shit in there I don't even know what it does. I just turn it up as high as it goes because I have a good video card. So I know console users are definitely not going to want to do that, because the entire point of a console, right, is just to be simplistic, which is why this whole hardware thing already, just talking about this already makes people nervous, because they're like, I don't want to fucking deal with this, right? And okay, so the way to do it wrong is if they start releasing these updates and start requiring the better hardware for certain games. If they do that, they've fucking destroyed their brand.
Well, that's like what Nintendo's doing with the 3DS. Like, the new 3DS has a slightly better processor, and there are games that run specifically on that hardware that you can't get in the old one, which is fucked up.
And if they start doing that, people are not going to be happy. So I really hope that they're not that stupid, because they're not in a good position right now. Yeah. They're getting their ass handed to them. I mean, even in the US, the lead that the PS4 has is not quite as commanding, but it's still a lead. And if you look at last generation, they destroyed Sony in North America, and they're actually getting beat this time.
Well, they did for most of it.
Yeah.
Sony
no, by the end, they were still absolutely destroying Sony in North America. Microsoft never lost the race. Worldwide, they got fucked because Japan and Europe don't like Microsoft.
Right. Total. They were like Sony.
Japan especially was a bloodbath, right? They may as well have just not fucking released the console there.
Well, to be fair, consoles in Japan right now aren't doing all that well in general.
Well, true. Some
at least not
are
compared
better
to
than
here.
others.
It's just the handheld market over there that's really doing well.
Yeah.
Mobile especially.
Yeah.
Like, that's
But,
the
you
big
know,
thing.
3DS is big over there still.
And at least
It's kind of huge everywhere.
with Nintendo's thing, like they're pretty much the only mobile, like not mobile, but like the only like handheld console like out there. Like people can't really turn to a Sony, the Vita, because it's not really
Because it's poop and no one makes games for it.
Vita sucks. But
Yeah,
like with the Xbox, people can go to PlayStation 4 and say, "Fuck Microsoft, I'm not dealing with this," and then that's gonna screw them over.
Right, and that's pretty much why they're in the position they're in, is because they pissed everyone off, and so everyone, you know, they hit that point, and I think companies they don't think that it's gonna happen to them, right? They think, oh, we're fucking hot shit, we'll just do whatever we want, right?
And that's what doomed Sony with the PlayStation 3.
And people are like, fuck that. And they reverse course, but it's too late. The fuck up spreads so much faster than the fix does, right?
Yeah.
Just like when you print a retraction and no one sees it. There's people to this day that still think you can't play used games on Xbox One.
Yeah.
Granted, you're an idiot if you still think that. Huh?
Oh, I was just making a joke saying, wait,
Get out.
I only own an Xbox One because I bought it used for $200.
You have a PS4?
I have a PS4.
Yeah. This is another thing. I'm not going to get into that too much, but I always wonder why would you want your Xbox One as a primary console? It's just a weak PS4, but whatever. So anyway.
Call of Duty, bro.
Call of Duty, bro. You can play it on PS4.
I got nothing then.
Halo? Because Halo 5 was great, right? Right, MT? Didn't we love Halo 5? What did we get, like 2 or 3 hours in, and then it just kind of, we forgot about it?
Yeah, I totally forgot I still own that game.
I do have to say, though, the Master Chief Collection is kind of nice to play the old games remastered.
Yeah, it's kind of sad.
Yeah. It's kind of sad.
That's
that's your console selling point, yeah.
Like, the Master Chief Collection is 10 times better than Halo 5, and what does that tell you?
It's because all the good people doing Halo went over to Destiny.
Well, I don't know about the good people.
The better people?
The people.
The people.
Some people.
So, you know, the idea of the hardware upgrades thing, I think it's neat. Gee Willikers. I don't know why I keep saying neat. I think it's a good idea.
The 1940s.
Yeah. But I think it could be a good idea, but they have to be really careful not to fuck their customers. And I think, you know, say what you will, but I think at least in the Xbox arena right now, Microsoft got knocked on their ass, and they've been pretty cool. You know, a lot of things they've done have been customer oriented, and, you know, I still don't think the games are there. But I feel like at least as far as console services and upgrades and stuff, I think they've really legitimately been trying. I mean, the backwards compatibility thing is cool as shit. I don't really have that many games I want to play backwards compatible because I didn't have a 360. But the fact that exists is super cool.
Well,
and they gave that away for free.
That's the most painful thing about the PS4 because I have to keep my
they'll never have it
hooked up just because. I want to go play Xenosaga or something. I'm like, well, fuck.
And Sony's never gonna, you know, and that's the difference between Sony is back in we're king of the fucking world mode, just like they were when they fucking released the PS3 and got their asses kicked. And if they're not careful, they're gonna start making people mad. I mean, the console war, as it were, is not quite over yet. So I hope that they keep that in mind. They haven't put out that many games. The only thing that makes the PS4 any good at this point is marketing and the fact that more people own it. So it's frustrating to see Sony launch something like PlayStation Now, and it's completely fucking terrible, and people will sit there to their fucking dying breath defending them because they're fucking fanboys. PlayStation Now is a fucking joke. The pricing is a fucking joke. People defend them, well, the publishers set the prices. Fuck that shit. It's your platform. You set the prices for every other fucking thing. You lock everything in. Tell the publishers to go fly a fucking kite and tell them what the pricing is going to be at. Because right now, who the fuck uses it? Do any of us know a single person that has ever paid for something on PlayStation Now?
Yes.
Who?
A friend of mine who never owned a PS3.
That's one person.
There was games I wanted to play.
The only time
If I have 5 million games to play, I would probably do the subscription thing on it. But I own a bunch of games that
And
I
that,
still haven't
at
touched.
least that sort of
The
is okay.
subscription Is okay.
It's still a little overpriced.
Yeah. I think 10 a month is probably what I would have
That
gone
would be
at.
the sweet spot. But they don't go for
Even
the
that,
sweet spot. They go for the
but
you'll pay it
I
spot.
can't really complain about the 15 a month. I mean, there's still subscription-based games that charge that much, and that's
Yeah.
one game. So, it's
They've got that going. In my opinion, I think it's still a little overpriced.
I'm okay with where it's at, but it should have launched with the subscription thing. It shouldn't have been, people
Yeah.
want this? What?
Yeah, like they didn't. People had been talking about that before it had even come out. Like, are you going to have a subscription? They're like, well, maybe. I don't know. Whatever, man.
That's kind of been their thing with the PS4, though. I mean, the fact that we can't see when friends come online, and that wasn't in it at launch, and they're like,
It's
people
mind-boggling.
wanted that?
Wait, you what? You want things that what?
Or
Or you want features you had before? Why would you want that?
or streaming like video and music and stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
wait, you use that? I had no idea.
Or just one of the biggest pains in the ass is because I play a lot of sport games. You can't even put your own music in a game anymore, like you used to be able to.
that's really the only thing on the Xbox 360 though, and the original Xbox. I don't think PlayStation ever did that, as far as I know.
They did it, I think, with a couple things on PS3. Like I know Twisted Metal could do that.
Huh.
Like all the NHL games you could and stuff, you can customize your own like in-game music and everything. Or in baseball, you can customize your home run music and everything.
Yeah, that's true. I remember that. Also, I remember the MLB The Show series had it where you'd like record, like fan taunts or whatever in the game and have them play at random. Kind of weird, but kind of interesting.
It was fun. It added a little extra flavor, like personalize your own game.
Yeah. I just wish I had someone here to play that game with. I fucking bought 13 and played it like 3 times maybe.
I can't lie. I'm one of those people that buys it every year, but
It's a great game. Don't get me wrong. It's just I just don't have anybody to play it with, and I just don't feel like playing it by myself.
exactly.
Like I had, I forget what year it was, but back when I was working all day Saturday, I had a PSP version of that game, and on my lunch break, that game was like fucking gold for me.
Yeah. Only thing I have to get over is how expensive games are in Canada now. I'm starting to feel like Australia.
Well, it's not
Yeah.
that far yet, but
It's
yeah.
kind of a shit show up there.
Well, to pre-order the show for coming up, it was $100.
What
Jesus
the
Jesus
fuck?
Christ.
Even at like Best Buy?
It was at EB Games.
That name is such a fucking fake out.
It's
Yeah.
weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
The show is
Just call it
the show
GameStop, you
16?
fucks.
It's $80 at Best Buy, Canada.
Yep. Well, I got
That's not 100.
Wait, that's for the pre-order.
deluxe edition or whatever.
Oh,
So it was $100.
Well, that's your
that's
fault then.
90 at Best Buy. You're getting fleeced, bro.
I should have gone to a Best Buy.
You should have. Wonder if they have Gamer Club Unlocked in in Canada.
Doubt it. I haven't heard about it.
That's unfortunate. You should check that out. Anyhow, so back to Microsoft. The hardware, I'll just say there's a lot of ways this could go right and a lot of ways it could go wrong.
Well, the more you
just
keep
the-
talking about the hardware expansions, I just keep going back and thinking like the old Segas. Just
Or
picturing those big.
the expansion for the 64.
Yeah.
Yeah, God, the Sega with its 14 add-ons. See, and that's why I say they cannot. If they fucking start requiring the upgrades, it's suicide. I could see maybe after a certain number of years, they do the iOS thing and start saying, "All right, you got a fucking 8-year-old console. Sorry, goodbye." But at least they need to get a whole console cycle for the old hardware. You know what I mean? And that if they say, okay, every console we put out, all the hardware has a shelf life of 5 years, right? Your hardware has a shelf life of one console generation, a reasonable amount of time. Basically, you can keep using that hardware until it's so fucking old that it's like hampering people's efforts to make new games. And then, all right, fuck it, we're going to drop support. And it would still be kind of sucky, but at least that would be somewhat reasonable, you know? Like if you got 5 years out of your Xbox One, that's reasonable, right?
I guess.
Probably the best way to go about it would be like you'd have to like your marketing would have to be on the ball. Like basically just like once you hit the end shelf life for the original, you have to market the next base level thing as a new thing.
And that's
not just stick the word new on top of it like Nintendo did.
Right.
It's probably also a good thing they're doing this now before E3, so they have time to have enough time to kind of get their shit together, and when E3 rolls around, like explain it perfectly fine. Hopefully that's the case anyway. It's Microsoft, so who fucking knows?
And we'll see. They need to be very careful not to leave people out in the cold and start doing exclusives, you know, right when they launch the new hardware, because that will piss people off.
It's potentially an interesting idea, but they also risk just completely fracturing their user base in a real bad way.
Well, just alienating all their customers, you know. You wanted me to buy this fucking console, and now you're going to fuck me because you want me to buy another one? They better not do that, or people are going to be super pissed. I don't think they're that stupid, but they could be.
Microsoft, so they could be that stupid.
Yeah.
The biggest thing I see them doing is they'll let games go for both, but if you have the added hardware, you're going to get like bonus content or things that just wouldn't fit.
They really should not. And you know, you say fit. There's just no.
Oh, no, that was air quotations. You just couldn't see that.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I could see that, but there's just no argument for that. If they start doing that, they're seriously going to piss people off. The only thing the new hardware should get you is a better looking game. It should just be completely optional. If you want it, you get it. Fine. If you know, whatever, right? They definitely cannot start giving them little extras for buying new hardware because that's fucked up.
Kind of hope that they've learned their lesson with that whole thing, just with the way the whole Kinect thing went over. Because it was nice that they stopped requiring it, but then everybody who that was told they had to have it was like,
what? Thanks, fuckers.
And even developer side, all the developers that were like, oh, they have to have this, so it's safe to. Oh, never mind.
Still doesn't really fill me with confidence. It feels like Microsoft needs to learn things the hard way and this sort of thing. So it's like just doesn't sound like it's going to be a good thing for them. But again, it's too early to really say. Who knows?
But history has dictated that it might not go so well. So we will see.
Yep.
And then I guess related to this, and I kind of touched upon that, they're making efforts to unify, in their words, the PC and Xbox One consoles. And that really just, I guess there's not a ton more to say about that, but it goes back to that app platform. Windows 10 has this new, what they call an API, something that, a certain way that you program and interface with the operating system. And up until now, we've always had what's called the Win32 API, which is just how you make programs for Windows, right?
They have that for like 1 million years now, too.
Right, it's fucking called Win32. It's basically Windows 95 and on is Win32, right? Windows 3.1 was 16-bit, and then they just called the next API Win32. So it's been forever. Now, this new one is more app-like, you know. It can be used so at this time, there's not very many games. Pretty much in Windows 8, all it was used for was basically phone app type of shit, right? You had a Netflix app, and you could run the same app on your phone and your computer, and just stuff like that. Things that you would find in the Windows Store, and right now, quite frankly, it's poop. No one has put anything significant in the store using this, but they're hoping to sort of usher this in as the new way to make programs for Windows. And it's got, whatever features it has. I don't really know exactly what it is. I know what it fucks up for games, though, which will tie into the next thing we're going to talk about. But, the basic idea is that you make it once and it plays on every platform that Windows runs on, which is a pretty, attractive feature. You could make a game for Xbox One and it would just run on PC. So
lots of potential for good, but
now the problem with that it sounds great, right? Yeah, the problem is that right now the features are extremely locked down on Windows. So like right now, VSync does it's set on. You can't turn it off. VSync is where the monitor refresh rate is tied to the frame rate that you're getting, or the frame rate is tied to the refresh rate of your monitor. Basically, instead of just running at whatever frames per second your card can do, it's going to run in multiples of 30 or whatever your monitor is. I'm not going to spend 10 minutes explaining it.
Basically,
it doesn't you cannot turn it off.
Basically, if you played any first-person shooter and like when you move the mouse around a lot, the image kind of like seems to like tear. Or
when you turn it off, you get tear.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
You turn it off specifically because it reduces input lag. So when you're playing a game where you moving needs to happen with as little lag as possible, you're going to turn VSync off.
And any sort of real fast motion too.
Right.
Sets it off.
In addition to this, the games that use this new platform, you can't use any other programs with them. So like screen recording doesn't work, overlays don't work. It's stuck in full screen windowed mode.
Yeah, that's the weirdest part of that to me.
So like you can't do the typical full screen game where it's not running in Windows, it's just running in like directly on the video card. You can't do that. You have no options whatsoever. You can't even run it normal windowed. You are stuck in only full screen windowed mode. And the problem with that is if you have SLI or whatever the fuck ATI calls that, 2 video cards, it doesn't fucking work right when you're in windowed mode. It's a known thing. It's always been that way. And so it doesn't work right. So if you buy a game from the Windows Store and you have 2 video cards, they're useless. You could only use one because it doesn't fucking work right. So there's a lot of fucking problems with this new thing. And related to that, what is this guy? Sweeney is CEO of Epic. Basically wrote this op-ed about why he does not like UWP and some of the, that whole ecosystem they have right now. And in addition to all of these things that I mentioned about how, the games run like fucked up versions of themselves. And the funny part too is it's not like it's just like that game, because there's a perfect example right now. Tomb Raider Rises. There is a UWP version, which is what they call the Universal Windows Platform games. And then there's a Steam version. And the Steam version runs like normal. Everything works. You can turn stuff off that you should be able to turn off. You can go into windowed mode. You do whatever you want. Whereas the Windows Store version has all these fucked up little limits for no reason. Now, it may not be that they probably didn't do this on purpose. And they've said, we're going to work on this. But it's just like, okay, so you're making this initiative right now to try and bring more Xbox One games to PC, but it's in this fucked up gimped state. We're like, I don't want to fucking buy this. It's all shitty. Nothing works right. I don't want this. And in addition to that too, so the guy at Epic, his first name Tim? Why can't I see his first name anywhere?
I think so. That sounds right. It's something.
Tim Sweeney.
Tim Sweeney, yes.
Had gone on and mentioned some things, right? There's a bunch of articles. We have 3 of them, and we'll probably post them on the podcast page. But he goes into great detail about why he doesn't like this UWP thing, and one of the things that he doesn't like that there was some back and forth on is you can't sideload apps now by default, which is bad, right? Right now, if I want, I can go download an installer for any fucking thing that I want, open the installer, and it will install my game, right? There's no other input needed. Maybe I have to click yes to a box that says if I want to run with admin rights, but pretty much that shit works right out of the box. I don't have to fucking do anything. The problem with these games that use this other API is this thing was sort of made to really only come from the store. right? And this is what made Gabe Newell shun Windows 8, which was when this started. He was like, fuck this, because you're only supposed to get things from the store. They want to fucking control the platform. I'm making a Linux version of, to run games, and they started making a push because they saw Microsoft trying to push people away from the current model and towards a model more like a phone. Now, it's already annoying enough on the phone, but to take something that like Windows that has historically been so open and you could just do whatever you want and try to push people into the Windows Store is very bad. Developers don't want that. No one wants that. I mean, you're basically, at least right now, if you wanted, someone can go to your website and download your game from you directly, and you don't have to pay anyone anything except, your web host. With this, if you have to put it in the store, they take a 30% cut. Right? That's what app stores do. You put it in their store, they take a cut of your sales. Steam does it too, right? Everyone does it. But you're forced into doing it. Now, the problem with the way things are by default is there was some confusion here. If you go into your Windows 10 settings right now, into the security settings, which I will do now because I forgot. Maybe I won't. All right, whatever. If you go into the security settings, there is actually a setting that's called sideload apps, and it's turned on by default. Oh, okay. End of story. It is enabled, right? No, it's not. You can only sideload signed apps, and no apps are signed except the ones from the Windows Store. So you can technically install a game via UWP. If you go into a fucking command prompt, you have to open PowerShell, type in some commands to add the key, and then you can install something else. That is a terrible user experience, right? Do you want to do that? I don't want to fucking do that. You can't have an installer work because of the fact that it wouldn't be signed and it wouldn't let you install it. So it's not actually letting you sideload in practice. It says that you can, but it's so complicated that it's basically discouraging any normal person from being able to just, like they do now, click a thing and have stuff happen.
Is basically what they got in trouble for,
right.
Way back
and
when.
Of course, this comes right after the terms of their antitrust lawsuit have expired, because it's Microsoft and they're dicks. The term embrace, extend, extinguish was created by them. That's why they're always in trouble. They like to take other people's stuff, extend it with proprietary features, and then kill off the thing that they replaced, right? Which is exactly what people are seeing here. You have the Win32 API. They're saying, hey, well, why don't you try this one? We're going to add all this cool stuff. And people are worried that you won't be able to use the new features that they're offering in normal, Win32. So they'll try to get people over to this other platform by offering them goodies. And then they're just going to depreciate the old platform, make it unusable, not give it new features, just fuck it. Because they're Microsoft, and it's not like this is some crazy thing that people are just being conspiracy theorists about. Like, they've fucking done this several times, and that's part of why they got sued.
Plus, with the way 10 works with their forced updates,
right? And at any point they could just decide fuck it and turn off sideloading, which I will again note doesn't actually work anyway. So. Understandably, people are like, no, fuck that. Tim Sweetie wrote this op-ed. And in typical fucking Reddit fashion, of course, I go into the Reddit Xbox One subreddit. Why I keep doing that, I don't know. I must be a masochist. And then there's another article about how, Sweeney admits that there's no proof of evil. And it's like, that wasn't... This article has 3 paragraphs of actual text, and the rest are quotes from Twitter. And it's just a very poorly researched, just rush job. So I noticed after this article came out, VentureBeat has their own article that went into, more detail. So we'll make all that available. I think I've basically summarized all of this. The VentureBeat article kind of pointed out the stuff about side loading is actually not turned on by default, even though it looks like it. And, he just goes into more detail. So if you really want to know more specifically about this kind of stuff, I would recommend you just reading the links, because I can't sit here and talk about it for like 40 more minutes. I could, but I shouldn't.
The thing I found interesting is he basically said, what we were talking about a little bit earlier with the last thing, which is, there's a lot of good in this.
Right. It has the potential for good.
And he likes that, but they have a track record.
Right.
A very consistent
They're known for this.
And that's what scares him.
And he sees the way things are set up now are not friendly.
It's set up.
It's not necessarily evil, but it's right there.
Yeah.
It's not impossible to sideload, but it's more frustrating and harder than it needs to be. Right? It shouldn't be difficult to install something from any source you wish to install. It's your computer. Now, you could make the argument, and here's the thing. You can make the argument, well, they're doing it for security. They do the updates. The forced update thing, there's a very good argument that's for security. And you know why? Because people are fucking stupid and they turn it off because they don't like their computer telling them to restart. What happens when they don't get updates? They get viruses. Who do they blame when they get viruses? They blame Microsoft. So what did they say? Fuck you, idiots. You can't turn updates off anymore. You still can technically by going into like group policy and doing all kinds of crazy shit. I understand the reasoning, but the thing is, it's Microsoft. They don't get the benefit of the doubt. And that's what I think. I don't think that they've earned that right, because the reason people freak out so much whenever they see any little thing from this company in particular is because they've been caught red-handed several times being fuckers. So when it looks like they're being fuckers, we assume they're being fuckers because that's what they're usually doing. You have to earn the trust of gamers. When Valve put out Steam for Half-Life 2, people were fucking pissed and they hated it. Why do they like it now? Because Valve earned their trust. They had sales. They made Steam better.
Well, same thing's happening with Origin, too.
Right, Origin's getting better. And you know what Origin has over Steam? A fucking support chat. Something doesn't work, I can actually talk to someone. And Origin is almost certainly responsible for the fact that Steam offers refunds at all anymore.
Competition is healthy.
It is. But what we're seeing from Microsoft isn't really competition.
Well, yeah, they're setting themselves up so they can block the competition.
They want to be the gatekeepers. It's their OS and they control it. And they're making themselves gatekeepers, and people are very nervous about that. Yeah. They don't want the company making the OS to tell you who is or isn't allowed to put stuff on there. And they don't want to be forced to use your store so people can install things. That's not good. So, they don't get the benefit of the doubt because they haven't earned it. You can make lots of arguments, and maybe it is for security. I understand why you wouldn't want people to be able to install from unknown sources, but it's their computer. Turn it on by default. You're effectively locking out any competitor. You have to, it's like this stuff doesn't exist in a vacuum. You can't just do it because it seems secure. At the same time, it might seem secure, but you're locking out competitors. So, and that's why everyone is pissed off right now. So, we'll see what happens. There's a lot of shit swirling around on this still. For once, we're actually talking about something while it's still timely. And not like 2 weeks after it happened. This stuff, and it's exciting. I like what I'm seeing with some of the stuff, but it's just there's a lot of things that concern me, and obviously other people are concerned by them too. So, finally, one more thing on Microsoft. I just saw this today. There's an article saying not every Xbox game will come to Windows. So, if you've been following this stuff, you've seen a lot of butthurt about people that bought Xbox. And now they're like, well, why did I buy this thing if all the games are going to go to PC? Like, because you wanted an Xbox or, whatever, right? Like, if you're buying a console for a game that doesn't exist yet, then maybe you just should not do that.
Yeah.
But, a lot of people are getting butthurt about that because they felt they were, exclusive to the Xbox, and that's the only reason they bought one. But he's saying, that's not going to be. He didn't actually say anything specific, but he's like, Spencer just commented by saying Microsoft is more committed to the console than it has ever been, and we're going to do stuff and things and whatever. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens with that.
That being said now, though, it's pretty hard to believe any game is exclusive to any one console unless you're a Nintendo flagship.
Well, no. I mean, Sony games are exclusive to Sony consoles. Microsoft games are exclusive to Microsoft consoles. However, Microsoft also happens to be the maker of the operating system that 90% of PCs use. So, people have always been kind of annoyed at their lack of commitment to PC games. So what do? Okay, let's do it. And so the console people get butthurt. Well, I bought this Xbox One because I thought I had to have it. Like, okay, you having it doesn't, you can still buy the game there. It's not like you can't have it. But I don't know, that all that butthurt just people complain about everything.
People can't seem to get over. It's never a bad thing to make something available to more people.
Right. Quit being fuckers. You aren't being hurt because more people get things. I'm sorry. That's ridiculous.
It's just a bunch of kids who never got taught to share.
I guess. I get it to an extent. It's I only bought an Xbox One for, X games, and I already have a PC, and now it's coming out on PC, so why the fuck did I buy this fucking console? But,
I feel that's not a very common thing, though. Most people who buy consoles buy them for the console game, yeah.
I don't know if me, for instance, I buy consoles. My PC can play any game. I have a great PC. I buy consoles to play console exclusive games primarily. At the same time, yeah, if my friends are all playing a game, I'll probably get it on console if that's where they're all playing. But there's not even that many of those games. There might be 1 or 2 a year that we all buy to play together. Primarily, though, a lot of people that have a PC that's capable of playing games will still buy a console specifically to play only, console-only games.
Fair enough. Mostly what I use, because I'm in the same boat, I got a PC that pretty much plays anything. But my PC is pretty much I play MOBAs on it, and I used to play WoW, but I don't play WoW anymore, so MOBAs and MMOs is pretty much all I use my PC for. Sometimes a shooter, because I can't shoot with the joystick to save my life.
That's because it's terrible. I begrudgingly played Destiny,
Yeah.
And that made me want to rip my fucking arms off every time I had to try and aim with that thing, because I'd been playing a lot of PC games, then Destiny came out, and I was like, God, what is this? Fuck! I remember the first few videos I recorded, I watched them later, and I was like, oh, God. How did I hit anything?
That was the whole reason why in Destiny I played the Blade Dancer for a while, because I just got tired of shooting and be like, I'm just going to go cut things.
Fuck aiming.
I'm just going to mash this trigger and waggle the left stick around.
I will look in their general direction and mash the trigger.
Dude, I've never felt like that. I don't mind playing shooters on console.
But you don't really play PC games for shooters. You played Titanfall, and that's the only thing I know of that you played that is a shooter.
Yeah, probably the first FPS game that I've owned, computer or otherwise.
Shooters are the most significantly different experience that exists really on PC. Shooters and RTS games. There's no type of game that is more different on PC than those two types of games. Yeah. Other games, nothing significantly different.
Completely different is Diablo 3. So I played it on the PS3 or PS4 because my friend has it. I can't.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, Diablo 3 is controlled similarly to an RTS game.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So that's why it's so different. It's not really made to be controlled with a controller. Yeah. It's made literally to point and click at things, just like an RTS game. It's kind of like they just took the StarCraft or the Warcraft engine and threw a bunch of weird demons and shit inside and made an RPG.
Pretty much what they did.
And that's probably literally what they did.
Yep. And then people complain about it, so then they just kind of ignore it and let it go. Are people still complaining about no loot? Or no trading loot? I haven't looked at that game in forever.
Not really.
Wait, what game?
D3 because you can't trade loot in it anymore.
You can
Unless-
if it drops while they're with you. Unless they've changed that since.
I think that's still the same.
Yeah, it's just if you get a legendary, you have to. If the person wasn't with you when the legendary dropped, you can't trade. And also, there's a timer on it. So basically, if something cool drops and someone's playing with you, and you go, I don't need it, you can just throw it over to them as long as it dropped while they were present.
Lame.
No. So, moving along. One more Microsoft thing. The HoloLens developer kits. Oh my god.
Are fucking expensive.
They will be available on March 30th to the tune of $3,000. Holy fuck.
See, when you say $3,000, I'm like, oh, that's crazy. And then I do the Canadian conversion.
Yeah,
I'm
to
like,
Canadian. Oh my god.
$9 billion Canadian.
What is that in Canadian? Holy fuck, it's $4,000.
It's over 4Gs. It's ridiculous.
That's insane.
Like,
Fuck
what's it
that.
at right now? We're at like $1 Canadian, like 68 cents for you guys or something.
Last I heard it was 74 cents, but that was like a week
$1
ago.
to one US dollar is $1.33 Canadian.
So
And
67 cents.
75 cents on the dollar.
75? Okay.
That's wow, that's probably that's the lowest it's been in a long time. That sucks.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that's I don't know, whatever. I hope that's not a fucking hint at how fucking expensive that thing's gonna be. Whatever, I don't really care that much about all this stuff anyway.
I can't really, like, I'm sure it's cool, but I
just don't care.
like wearing, like, even going to a 3D movie, I don't like wearing shit on my face.
No, yeah. I'll just wait till the technology matures more. If it becomes mainstream, then I'll give a shit. If it's just this little niche thing like it is now, I'm not going to waste my time.
I don't even care how mainstream it comes. If it's, like, it won't be $3,000 because it's a developer kit, but it's probably going to be as much as a console, and I'm not.
That's
wanting to do
insane.
that.
Yeah, and a lot of them are that expensive, so not real interested in that. All right, so this is actually really old news, but they've detailed some of the info for the Fallout 4 DLC packs, and they're increasing the price to $50. And Kyle and I were talking about this, and the thing is, I'm looking at what's in here. One of them sounds cool. The one that's $25. It's like an entire little island or something. But I'm just not seeing how they're going to be putting out enough DLC that it's worth basically the cost of another game. $50 seems insane to me. Like, seriously, $50 for some DLC. I don't see that being so much content that it's worth another video game. That just seems crazy to me.
It's possible. Like, if anybody can pull it off, it's them. But I mean, it's hard to really say until you see it actually come out.
It's just it's hard to, because let's be honest, half the game is fetch quests. So $50 for a bunch of fetch quests, that's a hard sell. There's going to be some story in there, granted, but I just don't see it approaching. I just don't see the DLC approaching the amount of content of an entire game. I just find that hard to believe. And I played the DLC for the other, for Fallout 3, for instance, which was also Bethesda. And it was maybe an hour or two for each one. Maybe 3 or 4 if you really, neck-bearded around. But I don't know.
I got a lot more than that out of, like, the Skyrim
I mean, you're
DLC,
fucking crazy, though. I don't think that's normal. But then again, people that play those games are fucking crazy, so I don't know.
Well, and that was like the first one of their games I'd ever really played, but like the experience I see from other people that play their games, like they're worse than I am. Like, especially when it comes to like the PC version and all the modding and everything.
Right. But that's modding. That's not that's cool that it's there. It's not like Bethesda's added anything on their own. And in fact, they tried to fucking charge for it at one point. I remember that. But I don't know. I just think Season Pass for $50 is fucking crazy. I have a hard time swallowing that one. And I don't usually play much DLC anyway, so.
I'm more interested in what their reasoning was for increasing the price.
Well, they said they were adding more than they had initially
Oh.
planned on. So what they've detailed appears to pretty much just be what they'd already planned on doing.
But they're going to add more.
But they're going to add more. So the article is
Okay.
about like, here's what we have planned, but we're going to increase the price because we're going to do more. But I don't like season passes. This is, it's funny because I had that rant about how fucking what's the point of buying them because they never go up. And then like a month later, this happened. And I was like, okay, fuck you then. For the most part, this never happens. I'm still of the camp of just fucking wait till it comes out and see because it might be shitty. I mean, why pre-buy DLC? It's not like they're going to run out.
That being said, Bethesda's one of the only companies left I will pre-buy DLC for because it's.
I still wouldn't do it. This is the one instance where if you had pre-bought it, you made out better. But 99% of the time, that's a terrible idea because you can buy the season pass for the same price for almost every game. After all of the DLC has come out, the season pass is still there and it's still the same price. And in fact, sometimes it goes on sale if you just wait longer.
Yeah, with the exception of on sale, some though, like if you buy their special edition or whatever that comes with it, it will be a little bit cheaper than buying it separately.
Can be, yeah.
Like usually by like $10 or whatever.
I think I've only done that once, and I still regretted it because it was the Destiny Seasons Pass.
Yeah, fucking Bungie.
Fucking Bungie. Or for Borderlands. When I start a new Borderlands game, I usually get the Seasons Pass, but it's because the amount of DLC that game has is banana balls.
Banana balls. That's I don't think I've heard that one before.
It's that Canadian lingo. Teach you a few things.
That's the thing. I catch a lot of that because I'm from Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Practically Canada. Except without all the cool stuff.
Like free healthcare.
Yeah.
And no Donald Trump.
Yeah. you had the crazy crack smoking mayor, though. So
That was in Toronto. That's not my problem.
Anyhow, moving along. Great transitions. Just great.
Yep.
Some very actually exciting shit. It's funny. These two things are announced almost at the same time. Hold on. Were they actually literally announced on the same day? No. One was announced and then, okay. So, nope, it was the same day. That's funny. So, PlayStation TV has been discontinued. Oh, no one fucking cares. But at the same time, yes, that's true. No, it says discontinued in North America and Europe.
Okay. I think the first time I saw something about it was
actually their statement was that it was already discontinued at the end of 2015.
Oh. All right then.
They said, however, that as of the end of February 2016, the microconsole is still in production in other territories. This includes Japan. Okay. So they're actually still doing it in Japan and not anywhere else.
That's the opposite of what I thought.
Yes.
All right.
You are so wrong.
It might be the only place in the world where it was actually used.
Possibly.
I bought one. I hooked it up and I used it to make sure it worked. And I kind of haven't touched it since.
So that's I don't know. I hope they don't fuck people that have one and like make it useless though. That would suck. Hopefully it like still works and gets some updates or whatever, just something. But at the same time, funny enough, because okay, the only reason I wanted one, remote play and to play Vita games, maybe, I guess, whatever. And the same day they announced the 3.5 update for PS4. And what do we got here? Remote play for PC and Mac. Fuck yes. That is cool as shit. I'm pretty sure the only reason they're doing that is because Microsoft did it and they don't want to look like assholes. Because I very highly doubt they were working on this before. But I don't know, maybe they were.
That's an acceptable reason.
Yeah,
Not
whatever.
a good reason,
Good.
but
Go Microsoft.
Competition is healthy.
Kicking Sony's ass into fucking gear. Also included in the 3.5 update, friend online notifications. Why the fuck it took this long, I cannot fathom. The ability to appear offline, so that when your wife is watching Netflix, people don't spam you with party invites, huh, Kyle?
Yeah.
Or when that one friend logs on you didn't want to see, just disappear.
Yeah. When Shax gets online, now he doesn't have to know you're there.
That's the best thing ever.
And then some other stupid shit. Daily Motion. You can upload videos there. Does anyone use? What the fuck even is that?
Oh.
Do people use that? It's
for
French.
like illegal
That's
stuff.
why.
Yeah.
And also user scheduled events. Like you would use your console for get together schedules. No, but I guess you can now. Well, okay, it's kind of cool. You can have a scheduled event, and people will automatically be thrown into the party when the event starts.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
That's kind of neat.
Like I can.
Of course, if they're not online.
I can see that being useful if people still play Destiny. You know, just get your group all together and then go.
Yeah, we're rating at
do whatever
6,
the raid was.
and then boop, you all get thrown into a voice chat together at 6.
So it definitely has its uses, but
And that's pretty much it for the update. I'm super excited about remote play on PC and Mac, though. That's super neat. Why do I keep saying neat? What the fuck is wrong with me?
you're about almost 30. That's what it is.
That's neato. But yeah, I just thought it was funny. It was the discontinuation of the Vita TV or whatever the fuck it is, and that update were announced at the same time. Probably not a coincidence. So anyway, so Nintendo had their Nintendo Direct this week. Man, we're all over this shit this week. A bunch of stuff happened. This never happens. So they had their Nintendo Direct. Roke, did you watch it?
I did not get around to watching it.
You're all useless.
Did you watch it?
Yes, I did.
Oh.
I just have a terrible memory. So I don't
Tell us about it.
remember anything.
Oh, wait, you can't.
I will tell you what I remember. And that is this. There's a really cool looking Kirby game.
And that's all. Thank you.
All right, see you next week.
They're bringing back a virtual console that actually
Okay,
has good
and-
games on it.
I have some comments on that.
But
And it's you have to have the new 3DS to play Super Nintendo games.
But the Super Nintendo is so advanced.
Oh yeah. You know that
Basically,
shit's
it's
got at least like a 4 megahertz processor inside. We can't emulate that on the current hardware. So they announced this, and I don't think they've clarified either way, but they did specifically say new 3DS X virtual console. And then, because up until now they've only had Game Boy Advance stuff, which, funny enough, the Game Boy Advance is more powerful than the Super Nintendo, so this is extra fucking retarded. But just to really drive the point home, you can hack your 3DS and put a fucking Super Nintendo emulator on it. So I gotta say, I'm really disappointed in Nintendo over this. They've done some questionable things in the past. You could defend some things saying, well, the game just needed some extra horsepower or whatever, right? This right here is pretty much exactly what people were talking about when they were like, they better not fuck us just because they're releasing new hardware. And here they are, fucking us.
This is Nintendo, though. They've been
But-
doing this for years.
No, they haven't. They're usually really good to their customers, and this is just a really, really shitty thing to do. Now, granted, I can only go get so mad because honestly, their virtual console prices are like offensively high, and I'm never going to buy one because their digital policies are fucking horrendous. But still, that's really super shitty. Obviously, it would run on the older hardware. There's literally no fucking reason, technically whatsoever, for this to be, what they're doing. It's purely motivated. There's just no other way. It's purely motivated by them wanting to sell more of the fucking console, and that's just shitty. It's greedy. I hope that they say something soon and either clarify that they didn't mean it was only for the new 3DS or change their mind about it or something, because honestly that is super shitty.
more likely, I expect some really weak ass excuse about why it's like that.
I guess, yes. Please understand.
There's a few other things I kind of skimmed over. Like there's the Star Fox coming out.
Okay, yeah. I'm still stewing over this fucking SNES thing right now. I was actually looking to see if there's some articles, and it's pretty much just you look on Google and everyone's like, what the fuck? But anyway, yeah. There's a new Star Fox game, the one they've been showing off, Zero or whatever the fuck it's called, Star Fox Zero. Although they didn't show, interestingly, they did not show someone using the crazy gamepad shit. They just kind of showed video of the game, and that was pretty much it. I'm not really sure. To be honest, the tablet controller is cool and whatever, but what I've heard of the controls, it sounds fucking awful. I don't want to. The way it was set up before, if you're not familiar, was you would get a close-up view on the tablet, so that you could like aim for shooting better. But then you would have to look at the screen to see like where you were, to see like where your ship was flying. And honestly, that sounded terrible.
You got to look down to aim, but you got to look up
right.
and not run into shit.
So it sounded like a fucking nightmare.
It doesn't sound good.
I really, really hope they've rethought that, and they can leave that as an option. They already did the work on it. That's fine. Hey, maybe we change our minds, and it's actually really cool. Unfortunately, the people that have played it were kind of like, yeah, this is pretty clunky. So I really hope they leave the option to simply use just normal, controls. I hope. I thought it was interesting they didn't show the tablet. That might be because they're going to put normal controls, or they just didn't feel like showing it. I don't know. But we'll see. And then they bundled in some sort of, it's basically a tower defense game with Star Fox shit slapped on top of it. And it comes with the game. So, yay, I guess. Whatever. They had a bunch of, quite frankly, boring stuff. They're adding more stuff into Super Mario Maker, so that's nice. More weapons in Splatoon. They showed off a new Paper Mario game that looks, it looks like Paper Mario. They showed off the Pokken tournament. They talked about their new My Nintendo thing a bit. Kind of vague. They didn't really go much into it. You're going to get stuff for buying things. Pretty much all we know. They showed off a kind of funny little... I think the game is free. It's this game where you use your amiibos to play it. And each amiibo you have does different things. So I thought that was just kind of a funny little... just a funny little thing you could do if you have amiibos. Since they finally fucking got me. I bought them. I'm a jackass. I wanted to have one because you can train them in Smash Brothers and do cool stuff, and I wanted one. So I bought Marth, and then I was like, hey. And now I have Zelda, and then I also bought Twilight Princess HD, and now I have Wolf Zelda, or Wolf Link. Link and Wolf Link.
I think that's
Apparently,
a rabbit hole I'm gonna get myself stuck into too.
Don't do it. Don't do it, MT.
I
found myself looking at an Ike amiibo, and I was like, ooh, but then I was like, no, I'm Ike. I don't need him.
I did just buy 3 Disney Infinity figures today, so I think I'm already boned.
The Marth amiibo was my way of saying I retire from Marth, and now he can be a computer. The Link one was because I don't remember now. I don't know.
You can use Link in Twilight Princess too.
You probably can.
You can.
We do.
You can use Link, Zelda, Sheik, and Ganondorf.
Oh, right. Link refills your arrows or something.
Yeah.
I think Princess Zelda refills your life. I was like, damn it.
Yeah. You can only use it they have restrictions on them too, which is kind of weird. But you can only use it once in a 24-hour period.
It's like physical cheat codes. It's hilarious. Anyway, yeah, the little amiibo game looks kind of neat. Stop saying neat. God.
There's sequel to Bravery Second or Bravery Default.
Bravely Default.
I just got
Bravely Second.
Yeah, I just got an email for you get a beta code for being part of Gamers Club Unlocked.
Yeah, that's interesting. I gave my code to an
cool.
Because I didn't even play the first game. So
yeah, neither did I. I was gonna give mine away on the center too.
A bunch of us did. Eisen got one, and he was like, "Eh."
Wow, really? I would have figured he'd be into that.
I don't know. Who knows?
No
one knows what he wants.
And I didn't get a code. That's rough.
Well, Kyle just fucking said he had one that he's not going to use.
Well, I'll bug him later.
Yeah, I'll PM it to you.
It's in the mail.
You have to use it by the 10th, I think.
Right on.
So after we're done with this, I'll send it to you.
They also announced a sequel to Azure Striker Gunvolt. You know, every time I see this game too, it makes me sad a little bit because it's the same company making Mighty Number 9, and it honestly looks like way better than Mighty Number 9 does. I just got sad again. I'm probably going to go buy it on PC the next time it goes on sale. And they showed off a bunch of other shit I don't care about.
They showed off the new Monster Hunter. Which
Yeah, I don't
doesn't
care
look
about that.
anything special.
Does anyone here actually play Monster Hunter? Do you?
I do. That's why I bring it up.
You do? Wow. You're the only person I know. Huh. I remember I tried to demo for it once and I didn't know what the fuck was going on, and I was like, I don't care.
It's got a pretty steep learning curve, but then it just gets repetitive, but I find it mindlessly fun.
They showed off more for the Metroid game, and I still don't care. They was like, we should explain what this is. And he's like, I always wanted to make this, and blah, blah, blah. What happens if I wanted to make a game about what happens with the pirates? And I was like, yeah, I still
No
don't care.
one cares about the fucking pirates in that game.
No one cares. But yeah, honestly, one of the coolest things in that Nintendo Direct is that Kirby game. What's cool as shit? Called Kirby Planet Robobot. Because Nintendo. You should definitely check out a trailer for it because it's Kirby. I like Kirby. It's fun. So now, not only does Kirby copy abilities, but he's also got a big robot suit, and it can also copy abilities in cooler ways. So yeah, I don't know when that releases. I should probably look that up. I wonder how long this will take. I'm going to keep saying things in a weird way until I figure it out. June 10th. So that's exciting, I guess.
Well, I'll look forward to buying a new Kirby game. They're always fun for a few weeks until you utterly destroy them, but
Kirby's Dream Land 2 was the first game I ever got for my Game Boy, and I loved that game.
I remember Kirby All-Stars for the NES, or SNES was one of my first games I had for that.
That's funny.
I think I did everything possible in the game. I tried to play it again like a year or so ago, and I couldn't get halfway through the game, but...
Oh, shit, I'm terrible now.
Yeah.
Outside of, I think, Canvas Curse for the DS, I've never actually played a Kirby game for more than like 5 minutes.
And that Canvas Curse, that was a weird one, wasn't it?
Yeah, you had to like draw lines on the stylus that Kirby would kind of roll around on, which was kind of fun.
You haven't played a Kirby game.
No, I'm not saying I have. I'm just saying that's the only thing with Kirby in it other than Smash Bros. I've actually
played
played.
a game with Kirby in it, but yeah, that wasn't a Kirby game.
It was fun
The
though.
only thing I kind of seeing about this Kirby game is I don't know what mode they have, but it has with amiibos. So if you put like the Link amiibo down, you get the sword ability.
Yeah, except that you need a fucking DS that does amiibos, and I don't think that the old DSs do it, do they? The old 3DSs?
I don't know.
I don't have an old one anymore, so I can't say anything.
Yeah,
I would get a new 3DS, but I barely played my regular 3DS.
I think you have to have a new 3DS.
Pretty sure.
Probably.
Which sucks. I don't want to buy a new one. And I won't.
Problem solved.
But I'll still lust over it. Be like, I wish that I could have it. Oh, hey. I should share this. There's a chart on Nintendo's website about what amiibos do what in what game. That's neat. Stop saying neat. God
That's
damn it.
interesting, is what you meant to say.
I find this very interesting.
Gee willikers, that's dandy.
Anyway, in other happy Nintendo news, this is actually really cool. They finally did a new wave of Nintendo Selects. Some of them are a bit fucking late. There's 4 Wii games on this list. Wii games. But whatever. The most exciting part about this actually is Pikmin 3 is going to be a Nintendo Select, so they're actually going to make more of them. You may not know this, but it's basically they don't sell new copies of Pikmin 3 anymore. And they cost like $1 bazillion on eBay. They did an initial run of Pikmin 3. It didn't sell well, and they just stopped selling it. So probably one of the coolest parts about this new Nintendo Select thing is they're going to be reprinting Pikmin 3, and it's only going to be $20. Included as well, Super Mario 3D World, Donkey Kong Country Freeze, and some NES Remix Pack, whatever. For Wii games, which I still find hilarious, Mario Galaxy 2, Super Mario All-Stars. They made a physical game for that? That's weird.
The last physical copy I remember was for the SNES.
Well, yeah, apparently they made one for the Wii. Animal Crossing City Folk and Donkey Kong Country Returns. And then for 3DS, Ocarina of Time. Yes, I'm totally going to buy that now. Donkey Kong Country Returns 3D, Yoshi's New Island, and Mario Party Island Tour or whatever. So, yeah, that's cool. This happens on the 11th of March. So, like, this week. This Friday. So that's cool.
It's weird how they brought out the Wii games. And I don't know if there's a copyright thing with it or not, but they didn't bring out Xenoblade Chronicles, which is up there with Pikmin 3, where a lot of people want it, but it's stupidly expensive to buy.
That was the one that was a Wii game, right?
Yeah.
They might just, I don't know.
Should do that with Metroid Prime Trilogy.
No, well, they never reprinted that either.
I know.
Bastards.
I want that game.
I got the reprint that GameStop did.
I think I still have my GameCube copy of the first game somewhere.
I probably do too.
And I still have my GameCube. I should hook it up.
But yeah, I'll probably play that eventually on my. I did, buy it for probably too much money, but better than the eBay prices at least, huh? Anyway, so something I'm liking about The Division is the developers actually talk to us and tell us things.
It's weird.
I feel like a spurned lover with my experience with Bungie. Like I've been through abuse, and I'm just like, so they've actually told us, instead of this game being a giant black box like everything Bungie does, they've detailed out exactly what is supposed to be in the season pass. Someone else had a better list. I should find that. They've got a couple free expansions they're going to put out. And then they've got some paid stuff coming a little later. Free update 1.1, something called Incursions, that comes in April. Introduces the first of new endgame activities developed for squad play, which I guess is probably going to be the raid.
Yeah.
Rewards you with powerful weapons and equipment. Free update 1.2 called Conflict, which comes in May. Changes the way you play in the Dark Zone. And it adds a new incursion in the Columbus Circle, which I'm not really sure what that is, but whatever. The first expansion is called Underground, and that's in June. Descend into the underbelly of New York, and that sounds like probably like another raid type of thing almost.
Well, it'll probably be like a new area too. Like I know there's a few places in the beta where you could go down into the subway, but maybe it'll be like an expanded zone. Expansion 2 is called Survival. That's coming out in the summer. Will you find enough supplies in New York to survive and secure high-end tech equipment, or will you go rogue? I don't know what that means. And then expansion 3, Last Stand, comes in the winter. And it just says a new threat is rising. Prepare to defend against a relentless foe. Recruit agents and build defenses to hold the line. Shows a turret with a laser sight in the trailer. And then it just lists some of the stuff you get with a season pass. All the expansions, a sawed-off shotgun, regular content drops, season pass bonus events, and exclusive outfits. So, whatever, I guess that's cool. And then they've also gone into some of the features that will be added. At the top of the list, loot trading. Thank God for that. Fucking Destiny. I'm still fucking just, we can't. You know what I like about them? Let me tell you what I like about them. People complain about stuff in the beta. Things I didn't like, things I thought were missing. And you know what I haven't seen? A bunch of fucking excuses. Every fucking thing people complain to the Bungie devs about, there's always an excuse of why they don't want to do it or why that's not their vision or whatever. And I'm seeing, the game's not out yet, so who knows, but it looks like we're getting results here. It looks like we don't like a thing, so they change the thing. Or we want a thing, so they give us the thing. So there's like a list of shit that they're going to be coming out with. Loot trading, gear sets. That impressed
me
too.
Diablo, probably.
You know, their beta was like what 3 weeks, 4 weeks before, like the closed beta was like 3 or 4 weeks before the launch.
Yeah.
And there's all this little stuff. It wasn't huge stuff, but there was some broken shit.
Right.
The kind of thing that you would expect. Oh, they're not going to care. They're about to launch. But no, they're like, okay, here's your open beta. We fixed all that shit you complained
Yeah.
about.
I was like, what? Really? Holy shit. It's like some fucking new world.
And out of like an Ubisoft published game, no less. Like,
I know.
Ubisoft owns Massive, so it's an Ubisoft game through and through, technically. So
Very
like,
impressive.
What is happening?
So there's a whole list of stuff they're gonna do, and that seems cool to me.
Yeah,
I like what I'm seeing.
Like, and I was like railing pretty hard against this game before I got to try it, and I'm thoroughly impressed with everything they've done so far.
It's been pretty good. So I like where their heads are at. I'm especially excited to see there's gonna be fucking trading. I'm just so tired of games not having trading. I'm tired of excuses. We can't because just fuck off. Just give us what we want. It's like it's a social game and you're removing a part of the social experience. Like, stop fucking doing that. There's nothing worse than like in Destiny, you get like your third fucking awesome exotic weapon and your friends are like, oh, I don't have one. And you're like breaking them down because you have like 12 of them. And it just like, it hurts. Like when I didn't have a Yallarhorn and I saw someone get like their third and I was like, I just want to fucking die.
There's like 15 Hawk Moons.
Yeah.
At least you got a Yallarhorn before it was deemed completely useless by fucking upgrades and shit.
I did get to use it for a while and it was in its heyday and it was great.
Oh, hey, the expansion came out. Hey, here's your Yallarhorn.
Oh, by the way,
Have fun.
fuck you. Ha! We're going to make it seem like we're doing stuff by putting out weapons that were already in the game months later. Isn't that great?
I hope they, at the very least, for Destiny 2, make that Yallarhorn as close to better.
They're not. They're not.
At this point, I don't even know if I fucking want Destiny 2.
At this point, I'll just be impressed if Destiny 2 has a story.
Yeah, well, I'll say this much. I'm not fucking buying the special edition again. That's for goddamn sure.
Amen to that.
I learned my fucking lesson. I was highly tempted to buy the gold edition of The Division, but I was like, no. I will not.
Like, I was, shitting on them pretty hard.
And then I ran out, so that made my decision for me.
Yeah, like Best Buy's site was just like, we don't have this. They had it for Xbox One. PS4, though, the button just said coming soon.
Yeah, I know. It's fucking
Like,
annoying.
what's wrong with you? I ended up getting it from Amazon because they still got the 20% off thing and I had some like discount stuff otherwise.
They still fucking have it, too. Like, I think right now... Wait, no, they might have run out. Oh, they did. I guess it had to happen eventually.
But I mean, it made the season pass was cheaper, and like I'm interested in seeing what all like the extra stuff entails. It's not just the expansions. There won't be anything overly, innovative or anything, but I enjoyed the game enough. But like it's not very often I try a game and I'm like, I need to keep playing this, and like now that I can't play the beta, it's like I want to play it.
But I want it.
Although that's kind of how Destiny was for me in that beta.
Yeah.
And we all know how that turned out.
I need this.
Like already though, Division feels more impressive than that was. So
For me, I think the Division is doing what MT said with the Destiny beta because it was fun, but I'm hesitant to buy it just because I was so into the Destiny beta and then the game just fell flat.
Yep.
like a completely different like feeling from their devs though too. So
Yes.
we'll see. I don't know. Maybe I'll eat my words. It's possible.
I can't really say Destiny fell flat since we put how many fucking hours into that game.
Yeah,
It's just
that is true.
I
It's
got
a
my
game-
money's worth out of it, that's for sure. But
Played it for
the problem with Destiny, and I've already said this before, but we all left it really angry at it because it was like an abusive relationship. We kept, like, the core was there, and as I've said a million times, the core gameplay is great, and every other system is horrible.
it's got all this potential, it's just not using or living up to
And
it
it was
all.
just, it survived purely on the fact that it was really fun to shoot things.
And that we all had it.
And we all had it. Yeah. That kept me playing way longer than I would have. I wasn't even going to buy the big expansion until Jax kept nutting himself about it. Fucker.
That was like one of the big like selling points for Division for me too. Like as much as I like the beta, like if nobody was getting it, I probably wouldn't have bothered. But once again, like almost everybody seems like they're getting it, so I'm like, all right, see how this goes. And on the plus side too, with the way things tend to go for us, it's almost daylight savings time again. So I could actually like be leaving work a little earlier. It will actually mean something.
You can join us at 3 a.m. instead of 4 a.m. Yay!
Hey! Yeah, maybe we'll get to play with you.
Like,
Maybe this time.
I can reinstate my deal that I made with my boss where I can leave a little earlier on Tuesday.
All right, we got a couple boring things to laugh at. Activision owns the people that make Candy Crush.
What to do?
They paid $5.9 billion.
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
Yep.
Hope they choke on it.
I hope they choke on it and die. Yeah. I mean, who else is a more perfect publisher of this festering pile of shit, though? I don't even fucking care. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. It's boring. Just another article we have about... Didn't we already talk about this Assassin's Creed not being yearly? They just keep talking about it. Like, it's totes not going to be yearly, though, bros. Like, for reals, though. Except all the things that we're putting out. But it's not, though. What else do we have? The HTC Vive is going to be $800. Ooh.
Not surprising, considering it comes with more stuff.
Yeah, $200 more than the Oculus Rift.
But it comes with the cameras
with two
and
wireless controllers.
Yeah, the controllers, which Oculus will not have, and they haven't announced the price for those yet either.
Yeah, I don't. Why would you? Actually, I have. Why would you need two controllers for something that you wear on your head?
One for each hand.
What?
One for each hand. It's not full like. It's not like a DualShock 4 controller. It's two handheld controllers, like two Wiimotes, basically.
Oh well, that's not really two controllers. If you have to have them both, you can't use one, right?
I don't know. I haven't seen games that. I don't know. Like I haven't really looked into the Vive all that much.
It sounds like a nunchuck and a Wiimote kind of setup. Like you have to have them both to go together.
There's this game. I forget what it's called, but it's something like Office Simulator or whatnot. I think you can use both hands to interact with things. You know, you're pushing buttons on a fax machine and opening up microwaves and like papers and shit like that.
Sounds fairly necessary.
So you can use both hands. There are things that have it.
However, it does sound more complicated than some, lame ass Xbox controller. So maybe it's more exciting at least.
Like the main thing, other than like the price, that kind of turns me off of the Vive is I guess they've said you don't really 100% need this, but like you for a lot of things you kind of have to have at least a little bit of space to move around in.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll probably. I'm sure they will have games you can just sit in your chair and move around because they want to compete with Oculus and whatnot, but.
Because they know that only fat neckbeards are going to buy this at first.
Yeah, well, that and like, who the fuck has like enough room in their house to just open up like a whole extra room for their fucking Vive? I don't actually
have entire empty rooms to dedicate to virtual gaming.
Yeah, the only thing I could really do is like my garage, but then my mom parks her car in there, so I can't really have to wait for her to go to work.
Not to mention if it's summer and it's fucking hot and you're sweating your fucking ass off out there.
And I'm not going to want to drag my fucking PC outside just to play
fucking Pokemon
Virtual Reality for an hour.
95 degrees in your garage. I choose you. Please just fucking hit me with water gun.
Please be a water type.
Hydro pump, thank God.
Oh, Jesus Christ, yes.
Blastoise, I love you.
One cool thing I'm reading about it, though, like, it's not really a selling point, but when you get the consumer edition, you can make phone calls through the headset. So you don't have to stop playing your game.
Weird. Because it's made by HTC, so of course it's going to have some phone support of some type.
I'm just looking at this picture, and I can't imagine wearing that thing for any amount of time being remotely comfortable at all.
Well, I don't have the exact same thing, but I've got basically the cell phone version of VR, and it's if you have the headset, like straps set up right, it's not that bad. But I mean, I've only had it on for like an hour at a time at most, so who knows?
This is just giving me bad flashbacks to the old Virtual Boy.
Oh god.
Massive.
Yeah, well, at least
Nintendo's torture device.
Oh god, my
at least
eyes.
these aren't tethered to a desk, and you have to lean forward into it like a moron.
Yeah, you could potentially like sit back in a chair if you wanted.
Yeah.
Although that might be slightly uncomfortable. Anyway, so all right, we're gonna start winding down here. But I do want to mention something I think is neat. Why? Anyway, they launched a Kickstarter thing, whatever the fuck it is, Fig.
Fig, yes.
That stupid website by the guy that owns Psychonauts. They're trying to get funding to make a PC version of Rock Band 4.
Yay.
Which, okay, so the cool thing about it, your current instruments will still work on the PC via Bluetooth, just like the way that you update them. So that's good. You don't have to buy new shit, because if I did, they'd just go fuck themselves. There's no way. In addition, they're talking about putting Rock Band Network stuff in there, which, from my understanding, Rock Band Network was basically like the people that the people that own their music put their shit on Rock Band Network.
Yep.
So that opens it up to tons of fucking songs, and I mean, let's be honest, modding is gonna be fucking sweet as shit.
It's mostly going to be fucking indie bands and shit you don't know of. So.
But if you can mod it, you can do anything. Just like
Yeah,
you used
but-
to make your own things
Guitar
for like Guitar Hero 2.
Yeah.
You used to make your own discs for that.
But that
That's
was
what I'm
real,
looking forward to.
convoluted, but it worked.
Hey, I'm fine with convoluted if it works. So I look at this
Yeah.
more as a supplemental thing to go with.
Yeah, if you won't have to get the instruments, it won't
'Cause
be too bad.
You don't have to get the instruments. You maybe wait for a Steam sale, because I'm not going to pay $50 for it.
Yeah.
$30 down the line, sure, I'd do that. Just
Yeah,
for the
but-
modding and extra songs alone, because
Yeah.
my your library from PS4 or Xbox is not going to carry over, obviously, but you'll still have all the on disc songs, and then the Rock Band Network really opens it up big time, as well as the mods. So it just
It's
seems
gonna
like
be
it could be really cool.
it's gonna be interesting to see how they kind of police the mod stuff, because that's gonna be a lot of songs that aren't by the actual artists being put up by people.
Yeah, I mean, if it goes to modding, hopefully you can do something where someone makes a chart and you throw your own MP3 in there. I would
but
love to see
even
that.
then, like that, you still have to sync it up, or you have to have the exact same MP3. Like that's the way it was with Guitar Hero. Like I had
Everyone
to,
should have the same MP3 if they
not
purchased it
necessarily.
legally.
Maybe like in this day and age now, but back when I was doing the Guitar Hero thing, like it wasn't the same. Like I
Yeah,
was
but-
constantly having to sync
you-
stuff up.
The problem is, like, okay, if you rip your own MP3, it should be the exact same length and everything as the CD. And that's what someone should be using, is an MP3 straight from the CD.
Not necessarily. That could be re-releases or remixes, remasters.
And they should definitely not use those.
Well, sound
They should
quality is
use
like
the CD
100 times
quality.
better.
I still think your big word here was legally.
Yeah, and I don't know what the legality of making
Yeah,
no charts is.
it's weird because like from what I understand, their main concern for the PC version not being a thing earlier was security, and I don't really see them as having fixed that problem.
You have to wonder how it will go anyways, because I mean there's other rhythm games on PC and stuff that let you use your own music.
Yeah. I
So-
would love to see them create something for this game that makes its own note charts based on the music itself. Doesn't what's that weird game they had on Steam?
Crypto the Necrodancer? Or that
What?
Oh.
No,
Well, that's
No.
the one that-
Audio Surf. That you could use your own
there's a-
thing and it
there's
would
a few
generate.
ones that-
It had procedural generation.
but I don't think that was for like specific instruments. I mean, it was just like the general beat of the song.
Yeah, I suppose. I'm just
So
saying
it's
you
it's
could
possible. It's just
make it
probably a
work.
lot harder.
It would just be a lot more work. And it wouldn't have that touch, But it would be a nice option if they could make that work procedurally, Even if it wouldn't be as good as the programmers who are also people that play instruments making the note charts. Because obviously you can tell the difference between the Rock Band note charts and the Guitar Hero note charts, because the Guitar Hero was just like on the screen.
They added like 3 times as many notes as were actually in the song,
Right. It was it was just
So-
stupid. It was
obviously
just
not that
walls
far,
of shit.
but
and
it
you
was
could
pretty
tell
ridiculous.
that the people that make Rock Band play an instrument and they try to make it feel like playing a song. So
that's because like 90% of the people that work at a harmonics are actual musicians.
in a band. Yeah. So that's cool. So I'm rooting for it. I'm not putting in because I don't, I don't want to buy it for $50.
It depends on, like you're saying, if there's mod support for it and whatnot. I might get into it. But
I'll just have to wait and see what it's really going to depend on the mod support.
I think the general public's not going to really gravitate towards this because, like, who fucking has a PC like hooked up to their TV for like get-togethers and whatnot? I mean, we do obviously because we're nerds, but normal people.
Yeah, that's my biggest issue with it because I don't have mine hooked up to my TV just because where my computer is. And Rock Band to me is I don't ever really play it by myself. It's when you have a bunch of people over and you're just hanging out, right?
Yeah, well, I play a lot by myself because I don't have friends, but
I play a lot by myself because my friends are terrible at it, and I don't really want to play with them when I'm trying to get real scores.
If you all drink and get retarded together, it won't matter anymore.
Which reminds me, you and Webb need to play more because I beat your scores and not getting any challenges back.
I beat one of yours.
Well, send it Tom so I can figure it out.
I think I did, but I think it taunted Webb because I specifically played off of his, but then I beat both your scores. Or something. I'm trying to beat one of yours because like I will not be like outdone on a Coheed and Cambria song.
We'll see.
Like 3,000 nerd. You know.
We'll see. If it's a song I'm thinking about, I really like playing that song.
Welcome Home.
That's not the song I was thinking of. I have a gold stars in one of their songs, but
that's the one I saw the challenge thing on was Welcome Home. I was like, no, I'm fucking doing this. No, my girlfriend was like,
no, fuck you.
After I did it like 3 times, my girlfriend's like, you need to stop. She was like, because I was getting pissed.
It must have been recently.
Like 3,000.
Because like I think I've played that song once since I got it on PS4. So
I'll have to check their other ones then. I don't know, their whole online thing is still a little funky. It doesn't always seem to register right.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Well, then they've cleared the leaderboards enough times now to where it's like you set up a score, and then by the time I play again, it's gone.
Catching exploits. Like, oh, well, time to reset this again.
Whoops. So anyway, there's not a lot of more exciting stuff. Nothing really. Mass Effect Andromeda is delayed, but it never really had a release date in the first place, so it's gonna be 2017 now.
I saw that coming too with like the one guy.
Everyone on Earth quitting. Yeah.
Yeah.
And other than that, you guys been playing any games?
A little bit here and there.
We've all played the Division beta now, not just me.
Yeah.
Well, MT played and apparently forgot.
Nobody wanted to play with me though, except Nick.
Yeah, it's because you smell funny. Even through the internet.
Well, I played the closed betas, and there wasn't enough new and then open beta for me to really feel like playing again.
I kind of wanted to record, but then I had stuff to do.
Like, blame you guys. You know, you played the closed one, so there's no reason to burn yourself out on what they gave you.
Yeah.
As long as you play with me when it comes out.
Apparently it was good enough for you to buy it, so.
If you get home early enough, we'll play with you, sure.
Well,
you bastard.
I have Thursday and Friday off next week, so.
Alright.
We'll have like a 4-day weekend. Nice. And by then, like, any possible server problems should be sorted out. Hopefully.
You think so?
Yeah, we'll all do a playthrough on YouTube. Look forward to it, everybody.
Other than that, like, they did the beta for Hitman World of Assassination and Uncharted 4 stress test thing this weekend.
I played like 2 matches of Uncharted 4, and yep, that's more Uncharted multiplayer, which is fine, but I'm not really into it.
I liked it better than the ones in the previous games, but yeah, it's still just, it's a third-person shooter. That's, not, I don't know, it'd be fine, which is fine for single player, but for that in multiplayer, it's a little awkward. I enjoyed it, but it's fun until you come up against what is obviously a full team of friends playing together. And then like there was one game I went like, and I'm not bad at it. I was pretty much top of my team most of the times I played. But like this team, like I'm pretty sure we got 2 kills out of 35 to win.
Jesus.
They just they swept through and just wiped everybody out repeatedly. It was horrifying. Like it was embarrassing.
I basically just played enough to get a decent amount of footage for the podcast video, and that's kind of stopped because it's fine, but it's not for me.
Play through if you can. But then I kind of like that you can unlock like different outfits and stuff for them. And it's all like in game.
Yeah, I got Nate Nick. Nate a fucking beret, just 'cause it was the only like thing that looked not ridiculous.
I ended up with a cowboy hat from like the relic points or whatever that you get for doing the daily things. And then like some of the emotes though were scary.
Yeah.
Like there's this like blowing them a kiss one that like shows Nathan Drake doing it, and he looks that should be like the definition of homosexual. I don't mean that in like a derogatory
Hey,
or mean way. It's
boys.
just he's so flamboyant about it. It's like, whoa.
Don't hit on me, silly boys.
It was like I had to sit there and watch it for a bit. Make sure it was real. There's some other
It's
ones that
so
are kind of funny.
horrible
Like I've seen
that I can't
screenshots
look
of
away.
this. There's like a selfie one, like you actually like throw out a peace sign.
Yeah, I thought about
with
picking
the
that
cell
one.
phone and everything. It's pretty funny. I saw a few screenshots that people nailed with it like perfectly. They're like standing over the guy, like because when you shoot somebody down, like it downs them and they can crawl around and try to get healed. So they'll like pop that thing like while they're trying to crawl away.
Well, I
Then you
think
turn around and kick them in the face.
I think it'd be really cool if they actually like took a screenshot that way.
Yeah.
That would be crazy awesome, but I don't know if they'll do that. Did you mess around with Hitman at all?
I didn't play it. I've never really played the Hitman games, but my girlfriend loves them, so she tried it a little bit. Like her general consensus was it was fun, but like, and then she started like foaming out the mouth about how short it was.
Yeah, I think
But she wanted to play it more.
I only played a little bit of it, but I think it's like 2 missions maybe. I think.
Yeah. There's like basically the basic. This is how you play the game mission, and then here's a short mission. It's literally like the intro to the game, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was kind of weird is how that starts out. Like it loads you into like this map where you're standing on a helipad and then you walk like through a door and then it goes to like a cutscene. Like, what's the fucking point of that in the beta? Like, why can't it just go straight to the level?
Yeah.
I've never really played the Hitman games. Like, I don't really know why. They just never really caught my attention. But like, I messed around with this a little bit and it was kind of fun. I only did the first mission on the boat. I did that a couple times, and the first time there was like the guy standing at the docks in the white suit. I forget his name, but like I kind of bumped into him enough times to where he got suspicious of me, and then I walked off to the back to where no one could see me, and I snapped his neck, and took his outfit, and then tried to find the guy I was trying to kill. And I guess I didn't do a very good job because I was kind of wandering around and learning what the controls were because I took too long to find him, but somehow I ended up just meeting up with him as that character, the normal way you do that mission for that character, whatever. And like he went into this room where like he's trying to look stuff up on a computer, and when he did that, I came up behind him, just choked him out, and just knocked him out that way, and made my way out. But the second time I went through, I actually went through like an underground area as one of the people working on the dock workers, I guess, and I found some rat poison, so I poisoned his drink, which was kind of funny. And I forget what happened, but like, it was kind of neat, like the multiple ways you can get through it. Like, there's not just one way to go through that mission. I kind of messed up with the rat poison, but like, I got the idea next time I played it, which I didn't obviously do, but where like I could poison his drink early enough. Like, go to the bathroom I saw him like hide out in, and like hide in the bathroom, wait for him to come in. As soon as he comes in, like sneak up behind him, and then like take him out. And like one of the they call it feats. I guess it's like the specific ways you can take him out, like take him out with rat poison or take him out with the rope wire. And one of the ways was drown him in the toilet. So that's probably one thing I'll try when I get the full game.
Yeah, like it's like I own most of the games because she likes them enough that I bought like the trilogy that they put on PS3, and then they gave away like one of the newer ones for free on PlayStation Plus. And they're the kind of game that I've always been kind of interested in and wanted to play, but I've always had something I wanted to play more instead.
I have at least one of the games. I think maybe the last one on Steam. I just never played it.
Yeah, but I want to try them eventually. It seems like it's an interesting concept. You know, you have like dozens of different ways you can kill people.
Yeah.
So I'm interested, but yeah, she really likes them. So I mean, she seemed to like the like controls and everything, and thought it was what it should be. So yeah, it goes. I'm kind of interested to see how the game is actually going to be now, though, because like when they first announced it, it seemed like it would be like a open world, like almost like semi-multiplayer kind of thing. And then now that they've gone to like an episodic format, I kind of wonder if it's even going to be anything like that anymore.
Yeah, I might just wait for it to all be out before I look into it.
Yeah. Other than that, I played. I ended up getting that Life is Strange game for pretty cheap because Square Enix did like an anniversary sale off their site, and I started playing that. It's pretty much like a Telltale game. Its graphics are not the best, but I mean it's more of an indie game, so that's not a big sticking point. But I kind of like the concept behind it. You can rewind time and stuff. Like you find out you have a power, you end up saving this girl from getting shot, and it's not like it just once in a while you can use thing. You can use it fucking whenever. So like you're talking to somebody and you say something stupid, you can rewind and say something not stupid. And there's just all these little things to like set up interesting things. And for games like that, I always kind of wonder what the choices I didn't make were. So like you can kind of go back and pick the best option if you want and kind of screw around with it, which was fun. And then the thing that throws me though is like it tells you when like something you do if it'll have consequences later. It's like this choice will have consequences, and it'll say it at the weirdest fucking times. I'll like open a cabinet door and it's like this decision will have consequences. It's like what? So I'm not sure how that plays into it really, but it's an interesting game.
It's kind of like with the Walking Dead games where so-and-so will remember that, or so-and-so saw you do this.
That always confused me too sometimes. It's like, this person will remember that, and then 5 minutes later they die.
Yeah. That was kind of a funny little, like, not really a troll, but like a trick.
Yeah. Like, oh no, what did I... Oh, never mind. Yeah, I kind of wonder how it'll play out, but like, the setup's cool because it opens with like, there's this huge rainstorm and you're by this lighthouse. So you decide to hide in the lighthouse to get out of the storm. You get up on top of the hill, and there's this giant, like, F5 fucking tornado, like, just about to, like, swallow the entire town. And you're like, oh, shit! And then you, like, wake up. So I'm interested to see where it goes. I'm not going to hold my breath too much, because it's from the people that made Remember Me, which is probably, like, the least memorable game in existence.
I've heard good things about Life is Strange, so...
Yeah, I mean... Like, the thing that I noticed, too, like, it's a little, like, I mean, it seems like somebody in their late 30s or early 40s tried to write like a high schooler they thought a high schooler would talk nowadays. But it's not so bad that I find it obnoxious. Like, that new Need for Speed game, the way they talked and stuff was so horrifying that I'm like, this was not made for me. What is happening? Do people talk like this? But this game, it's a little more normal. Like I could see younger people talking like this, I guess. So, I mean, the writing's not terrible. It's just, I'm not sure if people actually talk like that. But I'm enjoying it. Seems like it's a pretty straightforward game otherwise. It's pretty much like any Telltale game would be.
I think Nick just got that game too, or is wanting to get it at some point, so.
Yeah, that's... Like, as long as it pays off by the end, if the story stays interesting, I think it'll be worth it. But I don't know if that'll happen or not. So, but the mechanic of the rewinding time is fun for that kind of game. It's a really cool idea.
Well, all right then.
I haven't really been playing much outside of the Hitman beta. Broforce is now on PS4. It's one of the free PSN games this month, so I got that and messed around with it a little bit. It's Broforce. I don't know if anyone else has played that but me, but it feels kind of old, like an old school game, kind of, but it's like all the characters are kind of riffs on classic action movie characters. Like there's a John McClane from Die Hard character called Brohard, and like you can play it's like Blade, but it's like I forget what the hell they call him, but all the characters seem to have like bro in their name somehow. So it's kind of fun. It's like one of those, I don't really know how to explain it very well, but like you die in one hit, but like what's kind of interesting is you start out a level with like one life, and then as you're going through the level, like at certain points there are characters in cages, and that's how you kind of save them, and that's how you unlock new characters for it, basically. So every time you like save someone in the level, you get an extra life. So basically, if that character dies, and you go back to like the character you were playing before, and you can keep going through the level. There's some weird like bugs with the game right now that I've run into, where like for some reason I'll be holding down like right as I'm, and just in general, and like sometimes you can like climb the wall, so I'm holding right and I'm pressing the jump button to climb up the wall, but every once in a while like the game will somehow decide to not hold right anymore, so I'll start falling down the wall and into a pit. So I don't know if that's something they're working on fixing. I hope so, because that's kind of fucked up, but it doesn't happen all that often, but when it does, it's really annoying because if I have to start a whole level over because of that shit, I'm gonna be pissed. Other than that, I think I'm playing Street Fighter, which I'm still fucking terrible at, but I don't know. Like, I like the game, but I don't know how much I'm gonna keep playing it because I'm god awful. But yeah.
Was it just like that much different from older Street Fighter games, or were you just never good at Street Fighter?
Well, I was okay. It was like I was the best of my friends at the time, but like now I hang out with people who play the game way more than I do, so they're all way better than me. Right now I'm having a hard time finding someone I like playing, so that's kind of annoying. I don't know. I'll have to give it more time because I do enjoy the base gameplay. It's just I need to find a character I want to play and want to learn. That's the main thing right now for me. And yeah, they're having a bunch of like server problems. I think when the first week or two it came out, but they're pretty much gone now. There's still a lot of people rage quitting on the ranked matches so they don't lose points, which is fucking annoying. But people have been like sending Capcom video and like names of people that have rage quit on them. So like Capcom has been taking their rank points away, which is kind of nice, but it's still not really like the best way to handle that. So hopefully they'll get that figured out pretty soon. That's about it, really.
I've just been playing a lot of Fire Emblem. Not much to say about that.
I haven't really been playing anything.
That seems to be the game like everyone's netting themselves over now is Fire Emblem. I know Nick's playing it.
I've been playing because up until this one, I've never really played on the really hard difficulties. I always play on classic mode because, well, it makes the game actually challenging. But I'm playing on the hardest difficulty I can on classic mode, and because I just restarted, and I have like 3 guys left on like the 11th mission. It's pretty bad.
I know pretty much nothing about those games.
I know there's strat RPGs, and I don't like those.
Yeah, me either.
And I started playing Smash a lot again because we have our center tournament.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking forward to fighting Webb in the finals. Have the 2 Ike fight.
Ugh.
You gotta beat Rolk and his fucking ridiculous everything. Or, god damn it, you have to beat Revolver. That guy. That fucking guy. Did you play him?
No, I'm waiting for XY to actually find time to do stuff.
You might be waiting forever.
Why?
Yeah.
Like, why did he even sign up for this? He's a kid and he works, and that's like all he does.
That's another reason why I kind of just like dropped out of it. Like I don't really want to play all that much anymore, and B, like I know he's gonna beat me, and C, I know it's gonna take a while for him to get around to playing.
It's like I legit felt bad because one of the last people I played was MT, and I went really try hard with Yoshi, and you said you were about to just throw your controller or whatever. It was really bad.
Yeah, I rage quit that one. I didn't quit, but I intentionally killed my character just so I could be over with it.
I played Aizen and I completely fucking stomped him.
I was a sore loser, but I wasn't that sore of a loser.
I told him before we started, I'm like, I'm gonna go like balls out. So once if I win the tournament, then we'll play for fun after that. I felt bad, like, because I'm not gonna leave this to chance. I will absolutely decimate you if I can.
Like the videos of my my match with Jax that he put up. Like I lost, but we had a few matches after that because I was lagging real bad, and they were a lot closer. Well, there was one point where I was above him with Ike, and he kept trying to do his up B with Cloud, and I just kept down smashing him in the air.
That's funny. Sometimes you need some practice against someone. Like, I knew to be careful when I was playing Revolver because he's a shit. So.
Who does he main? He does projectiles. So is he a villager or a duck hunt dog?
He did he did Link, and then he did. Oh. He's a little shit fucker with Mario.
He's good with that cape.
He just constantly spams fireballs until you have to go hit him, and then he does this shit where he like runs and does his running A move over and runs away and just does that over and over.
Only thing I remember with Ike against Jax is counters your friend because he'll come to try to fight you in air and you just counter him and send him fucking flying. And that up smash so good.
Oh god, it is. It just covers the entire area around your body.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Ike.
And his back air. If you learn how to space that well, it just kills so easily.
Honestly, his forward air is ridiculous. I've had a lot of knockouts with that move.
Or it's just neutral air where it's like his up smash. He's just like, I'm covering everything.
Well, I guess his neutral is the same as his forward.
Just doesn't hit.
Because he does that really big swing. And it's so big that it swings and it'll hit people behind you.
Yeah. Just don't give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck. My sword is 9 feet long. Fuck you.
You know, if you
He's got a fucking gut sword.
If you play with items, his sword actually outranges the hammer. Because I learned that with against Darks, he was chasing me with a hammer, and I just forward smashed him and killed him. And he was so mad.
Sup? Whack. Ike is awesome.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, I think that about does it for this week. Thank you for joining us, Rolk.
No problem. It was neat.
Go fuck yourself.
Can we have him back again?
And thank you for joining us, MT.
You're welcome, sir.
And Kyle. Whatever.
You're neat.
You're banned. Isn't that neat?
Made you say it again.
Teehee. And I'll just take this opportunity to say we have all that social media shit. You should go look at it. Twitter is Does Game Suck. Facebook is Does This Game Suck. And YouTube is also Does This Game Suck.
Don't forget our new Center Network Instagram, which
And
no one
we have a
uses but
Center
Matt.
Network. Hey, we have a lot of followers. Too bad none of us actually use Instagram. But yes, we have the Center Network on Instagram.
I would if I knew what the fuck to do with it. And
Oh, actually, it's just Center Network.
no one's ever really answered my question on the topic about how I'm supposed to use it exactly.
You post pictures and say things, and other people
I
go,
know that,
"Well,
but how do I differentiate between like me and like I don't know? It's a discussion we don't need to get into here.
That's true. So with that,
Indubitably.
we will see you again soon. And we'll probably do what we always do and not feel like recording some week that we're supposed to, and it'll actually be 3 or 4 weeks, but that's fine. We'll do another like fucking 2-hour episode like we did this time.
And last time.
Yeah. So until next time, goodbye.
Toodles.
Laters.